Interpersonal skills. This is a touchy subject. Not everyone is a saint, and not everyone deals with people the same way. But I feel like there are some general rules that are gonna help you become a better teammate, and thus increase your chances of winning. Dota is a team game. It's partially random. You have 4 random people, the other team has 5 random people, which in theory gives you a 20% lower chance to have an asshole on your team. But that is only if you are not an asshole. So if you're a nice guy and you try your best and you try to empower your team, you are just gonna have an advantage. So just keep this in mind. You are the only one who is in all your games. And just be the kind of guy you want to have in your team. It's gonna help you. Next up, mute mastery. Think of chat in Dota as like a hero feature. It has upsides and downsides, but you need to think of it as an asset to win your games. Sometimes your teammates, they say useful stuff, and this is giving you information, and information is one of the most important things in Dota. However, sometimes your teammates try to drag you down. They start flaming, they start screaming, or they start giving information that you think is wrong. I think at these times you need to be really smart about muting people. The way I approach this is as following. If someone starts spewing rage or flame, I instantly mute them if it affects my mindset. So when I get distracted by other people, I just instantly mute them. And then I just play my own game, or I communicate with the other people in my team. And then when I feel like shit has calmed down a bit, I just unmute them. And when they start being annoying, I mute them again. So this way, I'm gonna get the maximum amount of information. Because even annoying people, they say useful stuff. But as soon as they start being annoying, I just mute them. So it doesn't affect my mindset, but I do get all of the information that I need. And this is going to be different for everyone. Some people, they can just deal with all the flame. They can just keep playing their game and not get distracted by the flame. And that's fantastic. And other people, they get super upset when people flame or they get down. So it might be better for them to just mute like your entire team from the start. And this is going to be different for everyone. But I feel like a combination of muting and unmuting really quick helps you overall. And I think a lot of people undervalue muting, or they're too slow with muting, or even too fast. So you need to think about what kind of a person you are, what kind of a teammate you are, and mute accordingly. So the phrasing on this one is a little weird, but I'll try to elaborate what I mean. It basically comes down to this. Your teammates, they're going to make some stupid decisions. There's no getting around it. Everyone does stupid stuff every once in a while. So you need to be prepared for this, both mentally, where you don't have like really high expectations from people, as well as in-game. You need to be ready for the mistakes that your teammates are gonna make. So you might just want to sit around them for a bit longer, or have a saving item ready, or just gently nudge them into the right direction in chat, for instance. However, even if you have really low expectations from people, which you should, because damn, people are stupid sometimes, you shouldn't show those expectations. So you need to make sure that your team knows that you got their back. So if they make a mistake or do something stupid, don't flame them, just tell them that it's gonna be fine and that you can still win the game. And this way you're gonna be prepared for all the dumb stuff that they do, but they're still gonna feel supported and they're gonna feel like someone has their back. And if you feel like someone has your back, you're gonna play better, you're gonna be more confident, and ultimately this is going to increase your chances of winning the game. I mentioned this before, but just be the teammate you wanna be. If you're having a rough time, you want someone to tell you, it's fine, we can still win this. And you need to be the same way. If someone is having a rough game, just make sure that you don't fucking flame the shit out of them. Even if he doesn't deserve his MMR, bought his account. It doesn't matter. It's not going to help you if you start flaming someone or start just being an asshole in general. It's so easy to get mad at people, and sometimes it's really hard to remain calm. But if you're mad, you are not only going to sabotage your own chances of winning, it's also going to affect your mindset. You can't improve when you're mad, that's all. So I see this a lot in my games, where two people get into a really heated argument, and from the start you know that they're not gonna change their opinions and they just want to fight. And this really brings down the team atmosphere, it distracts everyone, and you know nothing good is gonna come from it. So if you ever think about starting an argument and you know for sure that you are in the right, just let it go. Because you're trying to prove to someone else you might never see again that you are right, and you're gonna try to improve their play, but really, what's the point? You're never gonna see them again, and it's not gonna help you improve, and that's ultimately what getting MMR is all about. So if you think about telling someone that they're super wrong and that you are super right, just let it go and move on. Focus on the things you can change. So improving, this is probably the most important part of the guide. That's why I split it into 4 parts. First of all, improving in general. In life, you're gonna have a lot of opportunities to improve at stuff. So I feel like knowing how you as a human being should approach improving is kind of useful. And of course it also applies to Dota, but I feel like a lot of people, they don't really know the best ways of improving at stuff. So I feel like I have a pretty decent idea of how you should approach improvement, even if I only have spent 20 years on this planet. I feel like I have some useful information to share about this. Next up, there's 3 Dota parts. Pre-game, this includes picks. In-game, basically what should be going through your head while you're playing. And of course, post-game, what do you do when the game is done to make sure that you get the maximum amount of improvement out of every game. So now we have probably arrived at arguably the most important part of this guide, which is how to approach improvement. And I feel like this is not only gonna help you in Dota, but it's gonna help you at improving at everything basically, because it's a mindset thing, and it's actually quite easy to improve your improvement. So let's get started, shall we? I think the single most important thing when improving is realizing at which stage of improvement you are. And I've got this little graph that shows basically how I feel about this. Most people are gonna start in the bottom left bracket, which is unconscious incompetence, and it basically means that you are bad at something and you don't even know that you're bad at it yet. You haven't realized yet that you should improve and how you should improve. And then there's gonna be that little click inside your mind where you realize, oh shit, I am doing this wrong. Maybe I should work on it. Maybe I should try to improve. Then you're gonna reach the conscious competence where you practiced it and now you're thinking about it and you're improving, you're doing it better. And then finally, the stage you want to reach is unconscious competence, which basically means that you're gonna be doing the right thing automatically. Like, it's going to be a habit, and that's where you want to be in Dota. Like, for instance, you're playing an anti-mage and you keep getting caught. Well, you're probably gonna be in stage 1 at first, and then you're gonna realize, oh shit, I'm getting caught a lot, maybe I should practice it. So you're gonna keep playing anti-mage, you're gonna keep split pushing and shit, and then at some point you're gonna get better at split pushing. So you're gonna think about your positioning at any stage of the game. You're gonna keep thinking, oh, am I out of position? What am I doing? Where am I supposed to be? So you're gonna keep doing that and thinking about it, and then after a long time and practicing really hard, you're gonna reach part 4, which is kind of where you wanna be, where you can split push, and you're gonna have this inexplicable feeling for the game for your positioning, where you're just it's gonna feel natural, you're gonna keep doing the same thing, but you're gonna play better because you practiced it so actively, it's gonna be in your system, and that's really where you want to be. So step 1, find something you suck at, then actively focus on improving, and then if you practice enough, you're gonna reach the point where you don't even have to think about it anymore. And that's just how improving works and how Dota works as well. So then there's a few more points that I see a lot of people making mistakes in. First of all, don't get complacent. You want to actively think about improving. A lot of times where people try to improve, they just shut down their brain and they do it. For instance, you're gonna have this guy who wants to be really good at basketball. Well, I can tell you for sure that if he goes to the court every single day and he's just gonna throw balls at the hoop, he's gonna improve, sure. But the best players, the people who are best at improving, they're gonna be actively focusing on small things they want to improve. So they're gonna go to training, they're gonna train their sprints, for instance. Then they're gonna train all these little scenarios from like positions where they could shoot. They're gonna practice their dribbling, they're gonna practice every single part very, very consciously, instead of just doing what you always do and hope you get better. I mean, people say doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is madness, and that's especially true when you're trying to improve at something. If you're gonna keep doing the same thing mindlessly, when shutting down your brain, you're not gonna improve at a rate that you really want. Of course, you're gonna get better at shooting hoops, but are you gonna become the best basketball player in the world? I don't think so. And it's going to be the same thing in Dota. If you just press the find match button and you load into a game and you just do what you always do, you are gonna get better, sure, but you're not gonna get that improvement that you're really looking for, because it's basically what you've been doing the entire time. And I think it's important to break that cycle. So please, don't get complacent. Keep actively looking for things to improve. So when you are playing Dota, you are going to lose a lot. You're gonna lose almost 50% of your games probably. So you need to deal with this, and it's not gonna be a very helpful mindset to get super depressed after every time you lose. Because sometimes you're gonna lose and you're gonna play really well. And if you had any other team, you would have won, and that's fine, and there's nothing you can do about it. So therefore, I think it's very important that you detach yourself from the results and instead think about the process. What did I do in the game? Which things am I happy about? And which things didn't go exactly according to plan? So after every loss and, dare I say, win, you need to adequately evaluate the way you played. So there's gonna be losses where I feel like I played really well, and when my team took a bad fight, I would go split pushing or farming, and I ganked mid at level 6 when I was playing carry, that kind of stuff. You need to think about that. And when you win, often I'm gonna not feel very good about the win, because maybe I got carried and I died a few times too much when playing carry, or I played support and I didn't really save my carry enough times, or my vision was not up to par. And if you think about the game like this, it's gonna feel a lot better, because you are gonna be in control every single game, whether you win or lose. Like the way you feel about the game depends on you, not your team. So if you can get this down and you get used to it and you evaluate yourself after every game instead of evaluating the result, which is gonna be plus or minus 25, you're gonna feel a lot better, you're gonna feel in control, and this is gonna help you improving. Next up, stop pointing fingers, take charge. I cannot stress this shit enough. There's so many people who's always flaming their team and complaining about factors that they cannot control. And when you go into Dota, you need to fucking realize that you are not gonna be in control every single time, but there's one factor in every single game that you can control, which is you. So you need to accept that there's some stuff that you cannot change, and the only thing you can change is you. And if every single game you play your team is shit. It's not your team that's shit. It's you not fucking accepting reality. So you need to realize that you are the only single thing, the only single player that's in every single one of your games, and you are gonna be the only one who can change you. So it's not gonna be useful to try and change other players in your team or other factors, because you're not gonna be able to change them. And even if you do change them, next game you're gonna get like another group of idiots. So it doesn't matter how stupid your team is, because they're gonna be gone next game. So if you just focus on you, what can you do better? How can you be a better teammate? It's gonna be like so refreshing, because once you realize that some stuff is just out of your control, you can let it go, because getting angry is not gonna change anything, and telling someone else what to do, well, it can help you win games sometimes, maybe if they listen, but if they don't listen, it's just gonna be really frustrating. So stop flaming other people, stop complaining about other people, and just look at yourself, because anything else is just not gonna make a difference. And the final thing you should know about improving is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And it basically means that when you're not great at something, like Dota, you're also not gonna be great at judging how good you're at something accurately. So if you're not great, you might think you're really good just because you don't really know what being good entails. So bad people are often gonna say that they're better than pros and that they just haven't been discovered yet. And this is because they are not good enough to actually know what it means to be good. And this happens everywhere, not just in Dota. So how do you avoid this? Well, that's difficult, because everyone thinks this doesn't apply to yourself. Because of course you are good enough, so you can judge. In general, I would just say to not be so quick to judge other people, and try to really think about the objective things that you are doing and what other people are doing, and maybe ask for the input of someone else. Just like share ideas and just compare your thoughts. I mean, this effect doesn't really have to be bad. You just need to watch your attitude and not get too cocky and think you like are already the player you want to be. Just try and stay humble, don't be too quick to judge, and the Dunning-Kruger effect shouldn't be a problem.